Good evening. You're watching Plain Speak with me, Poonam Burde. On Friday, we told you on this very show that there was a conspiracy to claim farmers' land by the Waqf Board in Karnataka's Vijayapura. Those were the allegations that were made by the villagers there. Several villagers had received notices claiming their lands were property of the Waqf Board, despite them having all the documents that pointed to ownership rights. Today, their allegation has been taken one step further. In another village in the same district, there were 44 properties whose land records were altered in the last 3 weeks. Land records were changed without giving any notice to these farmers in several of those cases, leaving them, especially those in the Indi taluk, shocked to say the very least. Farmers then warned of large-scale protests, and amid that growing tension, if their grievances were not addressed, the government jumped into action. The allegations became even more grave because some of them claimed that these decisions were taken right after Minister of Minorities and Waqf Administration in Karnataka, Zamir Ahmed Khan, held a Waqf Adalat in Vijayapura at the start of this month. He was reviewing the progress of Waqf property management. In that meeting, he instructed officials to complete the survey and finalize the records of all unaccounted Waqf properties within 30 days. That is something that seems to have prompted this overnight alteration or claiming of land as Waqf property. Now, the state government has jumped into action. The Revenue Minister confirming that these mutations that were done in the Indi taluk, at least for those 44 properties, were done without any norms being followed and that they would be cancelled. But is that enough? The result of the instruction that came to the fore from Zamir Ahmed Khan was there for everyone to see. Now the Congress government may blame it on an overzealous administrator down at the local level, but is that argument enough? Because there are several allegations that have come to the fore. Here's what our investigation over the last 4 days has revealed. Farmers have claimed there is a bid to register their land in the Waqf name, that there were multiple notices sent in certain cases, and in some others there were no notices at all. Farmers said that they were asked to vacate the land that they've occupied for decades together, that they have cultivated on for at least 30 to 40 years. All of their documentation is in place. These farmers produced those documentation of ownership and of continuous possession as well, only to be told that if these papers are valid, then their land will not be taken away, and this was that merely a review. But that wait for them continues till that review happens. The Waqf Board name was inserted in revenue records overnight, at least in 41 cases in the Indi taluk. The farmers say there was no notice or any hearing. There were no records to show that the Waqf Board was a claimant to this. But all of a sudden, the Waqf Board's name was in the column number 11 of the RTC, which is the record of rights, tenancy and crops, just 2 days after Karnataka Waqf Minister Zamir Ahmed Khan's meeting with those officials. Now, as its political rivals up the ante, Siddaramaiah government has gotten into damage control mode, like I said. 3 ministers just a short while ago held a press conference. Days after this entire controversy had broken out. Until now, they were completely silent. But today, we had 3 ministers sit down and brief the media. The government has now asked the Assistant Commissioner to verify these mutations. They are going to be cancelled as of now. But all of the documents will be looked into. The farmers will also have to produce their documents. But the Congress definitely finds itself in a spot. There are several reasons why. The mutations that were made to those revenue records of there were 44 properties, why exactly were they made if there were no clear instructions? No notices were given by local administration after Waqf actually made that claim. Isn't that procedure? Well, the state government has actually admitted that that procedure was not followed and there was a lapse in this case. Notices, mutations were only after Mantri's Waqf Adalat. So is there pressure that's being created or some sort of leeway that's being given to the Waqf Board from the state government side? Is there complicity? That's a question that's being asked as well. MB Patil, who was the minister in charge of the Vijayapura Taluka over the last 2 days, said that there was a gazette error, that not just the entire village land was in the Waqf name, but it was a gazette error which mentioned that particular village, which caused this entire confusion. But does that explain what transpired in another taluk where these mutations took place in the land records? Now, the Congress has been vowing to fight for farmers in the state and for the farmers in the country. But here we have a case where there are alterations that are made to land records and these lands belong to farmers. So then, does that fight for farmers, does that defense cut ice either way? While that fireworks continue and the state government then goes on into damage control mode, now they may say that action has been taken. But why did they wait for so long? That brings us to the question here on Plain Speak. Is the Karnataka Congress or the Karnataka government going soft on this conspiracy by the Waqf Board?
government is saying that we will look into why the Tehsildar changed the land record of 41 properties belonging to farmers and added the Karnataka Waqf Board's name.
चवालीस प्रॉपर्टीज ऐसी थी जिसमें कि बिना किसानों को बताए ओवरनाइट म्यूटेशन किया गया, लैंड रिकॉर्ड चेंज किया गया और वक्फ का नाम जोड़ दिया गया और जमीनें हड़पी गई।
BJP's polarization is at its best, but the narrative that is being built up, that about thousands of acres of agricultural land, farmers' property is being taken out by Waqf is an absolute lie.
Let's open this up. Tom Vadakan, national spokesperson of the BJP, joins us. Ravi Srivastav, political analyst. R.K. Upadhyay, senior journalist. And Ashwini Dubey, advocate of the Supreme Court, is with us. Let me begin by asking Ravi Srivastav. Ravi Srivastav, do you think there is something amiss as far as this entire case goes?
Good evening, Poonam and the fellow panelists. I don't find that much has anything has gone wrong. No land has been acquired. No. Nothing unusual has happened. The Waqf Board found that there are some properties which are exactly belong to them, and they have asked for, they given some notice to the some farmers. And it is not that they all are farmers. Some are farmers, some are carpenters, some are doing some other professions as well. And not even an inch of a land has been taken away. And I think the government has taken an appropriate action. And MB Patil has clarified already that all these things will be investigated and no land will be acquired. I think historically there is something that a part of land of that 1200 acres, some 10 acres belong to that Amin Shah's Dargah. So that Dargah land, some only 10 acres is there, which belongs to Waqf Board. And they have also admitted that historically some error has been done in the mutation. And you know very well that in India, the revenue records of the land are in absolute mess. And one particular land record, you may have the 10 claimants over there that this belongs to me, or somebody else says that it belongs to me. So there were a lot of dispute can happen. And then since the people have approached the government, I think just now that your press conference, the minister has clarified that no land will be taken away. And BJP especially, that Tejasvi Surya is trying to make a polarization there. This is a Hindu farmer's land. There are not, all are not far. First of all, no land has been taken away. Second, all farmers are not Hindus as well. So what is he trying to prove over there? Just to polarize the state, just to see that there could be a Hindu-Muslim wedge created over there. He is trying to, create a communal divide amongst the people. Karnataka is a peaceful state, and they have been in the past also. The BJP has got a dubious track record of creating the divide on the name of the hijab, halal, and all kind of madarsa, and these things they have been doing over there, and they had created so much of hatred. जैसे नफरत की दीवार खड़ी कर दी between both the communities in the past 5 years, and that's the reason they were thrown away. So,
sir, in the last 5 years, what the BJP has done or not, how is that pertinent to what's happening in Karnataka? Zamir Ahmed Khan, the Minorities Affairs Minister in Karnataka, the one who looks after Waqf property management, he held a Waqf Adalat on the 7th of October. 2 days later, on the 9th of October, and we have those documents if we can show you, within 2 days, there were 41 such properties in one specific taluk, where there is suddenly a name in column number 11, that Waqf is a claimant of this property. Without any hearing taking place, without any notice being sent to any of these farmers. And 41 may seem like a small number, But at least one of them that we've spoken to, one property out of 41 properties is over 14 acres. So if you put all those 41 together, perhaps it's a big enough amount. It's not just
Some-
41 properties.
Some particular tahsildar has aired it, and he has done some overzealous person. So I think the government is going to take necessary action against him if he has done something unlawful or something out of the way, which is not regular. So the government is going to take action against such people who have done it. As far as the minister for the Waqf Board is concerned, Mr. Zamir, he is a custodian of the Waqf property in the state. So he has all rights to
Who's the
analyze
custodian?
and see
Who's the
that.
custodian?
Okay,
He
he's
is
the
a
custodian
general
of Waqf
manager.
property. Sure, Ravi Srivastava is a custodian of Waqf property, which is perhaps
Exactly.
why when he went and addressed this Waqf Adalat, R.K. Upadhyay, is that suddenly this overzealousness is being seen from the local administration. Is it now an easy excuse for the government to say that the local administration did this? The Waqf Adalat happened on the 7th of October. 9th of October is when changes started happening. It's been 3 weeks since. Up until now, Mr. Zamir Ahmad Khan had nothing to say about clarification. But today we had 3 ministers come out and sit and brief the media because the media has spoken about this. The BJP has picked this up. Perhaps the Congress has realized there's no way out of this.
You see, the cat is out of the bag now, and it's very much evident that they were trying to grab as much property as possible. I mean, as a spokesman was saying just now, I mean, it's just some officials were doing it. I mean, how can just officials do all this without prompting from the ministers? Mr. Zamir Ahmad Khan, everybody knows that in the last 2-3 weeks, he has gone around 13 districts across the state, saying that properties have to be registered. He has been pressurizing the officials to register properties in the name of Waqf Board. I mean, it's not just just out of the blue that this has happened. And everybody knows that in Karnataka, the law that CM Siddaramaiah has, and also the Deputy Chief Minister for the Muslims, and they are known for the Muslim appeasement. Now, this is the result of all this. So the officials, they take the cue from their political masters. So obviously, these things have come from the top. And now that it has been exposed in the media, the Congress party is trying to retract. But the fact of the matter is that this is a very dangerous game which the Karnataka government is playing, and they know that the Waqf Amendment Act is coming, and before that they want to ensure that thousands of acres are shown to be properties of the Waqf Board, and this game has been exposed now. So this cannot go on like this. I mean, this is a very dangerous game they're playing, and now they've realized that the elections are around the corner, and this could become an issue. And the spokesman is saying these are all, how are they saying that it's all Hindu lands? And the names of the farmers have come out, and everybody knows who they are. So I think there's no point in beating about the bush.
And Hindu or not is besides the point. Even if it was a Muslim farmer, if arbitrarily changes are being made to land records to add another claimant, irrespective of that person's faith, that's not pertinent to what is being done. But Tom Vadakan is... But
Muslim property, the Waqf Board cannot claim it. I mean, it's an individual.
No, I mean, irrespective of what the religion of the farmer or the carpenter or whoever it is, that person is still a claimant of that land. And if he has documents, fair enough. Now the government may say that, oh, please come forward with the documents and your land will not be taken. But it's still been 3 to 4 weeks of uncertainty. And these families have no idea what's going to happen to their land that they've held for generations together. But Tom Vadakan, does the BJP agree with the defense that has come to the fore from the state government? The minister concerned, the revenue minister in fact, going on record to say that there was a procedural lapse, we agree. And those mutations will be cancelled because there was some overzealous local administrator who went ahead and arbitrarily took a decision on his own.
Poonam, this is a cold-blooded plot that they have planned. And this is not small part of their history, the Congress party. 1954, Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru started the whole racket. And then in 1995 and 2013, the acts that they supported, and we were at their mercy. This is not about Hindus or Muslims, Raviji. This is not about carpenters or farmers. A carpenter can also be a farmer. Incidentally, Raviji, let's be candid. You're a wise man. And you know this racket that's been going on. This happened in Delhi, and now the chief minister in Delhi says, well, we didn't see the report, the presentation. These kind of backdoor operations have been going on for some time. Waqf Board is essentially a land grab movement. And let me tell you, countries like Turkey, Libya, Egypt, Sudan, Lebanon, Syria, Jordan, Tunisia, and Iraq have never heard of Waqf. And here, we don't have it in the constitution. It was imposed on us. And pray, if you have read the Quran, there's no mention of the Waqf. So please, Mr. Ravi, when I understand you're a very wise person, I know you're taking a position to kind of defend the impossible, but take a brief for something that you can stand up and say it's close to your heart. This is a land grab movement, and let me tell you something of the history of that region. Vijayanagara was never conquered by the Mughals.
Okay, Ravi Srivastava, let me finish. I'll come to you. I'll give you your time to rebut. Let Tom Vadakan finish, please. Let's not speak over each other. Nothing comes out of it. Let Tom Vadakan finish, please. Ravi Srivastava, I'll get you in. Tom Vadakan, go ahead.
I was saying that part of property is in Vijayanagara. And Vijayanagara never came under the Muslim rule. This is part of history. This is not something I'm talking. Read the history books. Vijayanagara never surrendered to the Mughals. And you say that, well, this Waqf existed. Now, I've named so many countries that don't have Waqf. Please, don't take anybody's land and legalize it.
Can I come in now?
Don't blame the Tehsildar.
And this unilateral decision or claiming of land by the Waqf Board is under question. And that this unilateral decision by several Waqf boards to claim land is under question, Ravi Srivastava, in different other states of this country as well, which is also why there's a deliberation on a Waqf amendment bill of the kind of powers that the Waqf Board has, which have no oversight.
Mr. Tom Vadakan, first of all, you correct yourself. It is not Vijayanagara, it is Vijayapura. The second thing is that as regards this...
Okay, so please read that portion of history, whether it's Vijayapura. The fact of the matter, Mughals did not have any hold on that part of land in Karnataka.
What Mughals have to do with the Waqf Act, which you have been advocating
you claim that this is Muslim land and this tomb existed here. My question to you is, when this Vijayapuram or Vijayanagara, whichever you want to call it, has nothing to do.
This
is property grabbing.
Sure, Tom Vadakan, you've made your point. Tom Vadakan, you've made your point.
They paid for it.
Sure, Tom Vadakan, you've made your point. It's this particular place that we speak of. But like I said, Ravi Srivastava, this is just one instance. Several such instances of unbridled powers of the Waqf Board have come to the fore from multiple other parts of the country.
For that, already a parliament committee is going to look into it. Why are we disputing that? Second thing is, Mr. Tom Vadakan, in between, there were twice the government led in 77 to 80 and 98 to 2004. There was an NDA government. Why did you not oppose the Waqf Act? Please tell me.
We are opposing it right now. We have taken action.
And now also, after 11 years, you have woken up from a deep slumber and you are finding problem with the Waqf properties.
It took
what
us
have you
time,
been doing
Mr.
so long? It means
Ravi,
it
took us time to understand this racket. These rackets have a cover-up scale, The Congress party gave it the total cover-up by the legislation in 1995 and 2013. Ravi, let's be candid.
But Ravi Srivastava, why do you think this is a polarization
which is happening
ploy?
in Karnataka and happening in other states?
Where does anyone's religion come to the fore? Is it not a fact that the addition in column number 11 says Waqf Board?
What is happening is that...
Yes or no, is that not a fact? What is that going to do with what's happening in Karnataka? It's the Congress government and Tehsildars under the Congress government that have made these mutations.
Poonam, I am telling you that these kind of divisive politics, they are now again going to practice because now they want to polarize people again.
But it's not what the BJP has done here. It's what the Congress government and Tehsildars under the Congress government have done in Karnataka. That's the point of discussion.
I am not doing it.
These land grabbers, and you are standing by.
But Ravi Srivastava, I still don't get the connection.
I get
not
it.
It's
about
a
Hindu
it's
Muslim.
it's
This
it's
is
a
about
tehsildar
the
that
land
is
you are
overstepped
taking
his bounds. You
over
say
because there's a
now
land mafia
tehsildar
that
works under a
exists,
Congress government. Tom
supported by
Vadakan,
the
just a
Congress
second, please.
party.
Tom Vadakan,
Yeah.
just a second, please. Ravi
Yeah,
Srivastava,
government
an overzealous local administrator has gone ahead, overstepped his or her bounds, and has unilaterally taken these decisions. Is what the government says. Still works under the government. Instructions
The
came from a
government-
Congress minister.
The government will deal with him. They have confirmed it today.
No, they
have said
haven't.
that
All they've said is that we know there was a procedural lapse,
They-
and
they will have-
that these mutations will be cancelled.
they
What
will have
happens
a
to this
thorough-
officer? Is there punitive action? Will there be now a stop to any of these reviews? Because like we've been pointing out, over the last 1 month or so, Zamir Ahmad Khan has gone to at least 13 to 14 districts and made the same speech everywhere about reviewing all of these properties. What's to say
Naturally-
tomorrow we won't have another
naturally,
so-called overzealous
if-
local administrator
if-
from
if
another
he is
place?
If he is the Waqf Board chairman, this is his bounden responsibility to ensure that the which land which belongs to him remains with them. If it is encroached, they have got a powers under Section 54. to
And if they are the
acquire it.
encroachers, is it not his responsibility to come out and clarify?
Law will take its course. There are courts there available.
Law will take its own
There
course.
is no
You-
law to
You
take a
sit
course
and
at the
preside
moment,
over
sir.
the
That's
Waqf
exactly the
Ram
Board.
point.
Decide whether it
In
has to
Ram
be
Mandir
property
case,
of
Ram
the
Mandir
government
case,
or
what
it is
happened,
the
the
Waqf
matter
But as
went to
far as the
Supreme
Waqf
Court.
Board
decide?
claiming
Government
these
is-
lands is
What-
concerned, there
what
is no
judicious
legal
process is
recourse
this?
apart from a
You decide
tribunal, which is
yourself
also then
that
governed
this
by the
land
Waqf Board
belongs to the
themselves.
Waqf or not. No justice.
See,
Even the Supreme
Okay,
Court is not
okay, let
taking
me
this up.
let
So
me get in
motto.
Ashwini Dubey as well. He's been patiently waiting. Ashwini Dubey, as far as Waqf Boards claiming land as their own is concerned, there are several instances across the country where this is being done unilaterally and how there is no legal recourse. In this particular instance, now in Karnataka, where either notices have been issued to these farmers or mutations were done through the land records, which now will be recalled, what is the legal recourse to these farmers? What are they to do until they wait for however long it takes, whether there is a solution at all to begin with, or are they at the mercy of this tribunal and the Waqf Board?
Solution is only with the Waqf Board and Waqf Tribunal, where there is Muslim MLA, Muslim MP, Muslim IAS, Muslim town planner, Muslim advocate, Muslim scholar, Mutawallis. So solution lies with the grabbers only. See, it is strange, Poonam. We live in a country where the constitution is supreme, and there are 3 types of court running in the country. One is the district judiciary, second is the union judiciary, third is the High Court. Union Judiciary falls under Article 124 to 146, High Court under Article 214 to 231, Subordinates Court 233 to 237, but the Waqf Board is not amenable to the constitution of the country. Section 85 of the Waqf Act stipulates, Poonam, that if you cannot prove to the Waqf Board tribunal that you possess the property or ever possessed, then you will be obliged to abandon it. The tribunal's ruling will be final, meaning thereby no court, not even the Supreme Court, may overturn the Waqf Tribunal's ruling. And here it is strange, unfortunate and shocking that the Waqf Board's name was added to the land records without notifying farmers. See, Waqf Board are the land grabbing institutions which have been legitimate, legalized by the government in past, of course in order to appease certain communities. And you see, when there is no safeguard for the other communities to save their properties for inclusion in the list of Waqf Act by the Waqf Board, where will the other people go? And the order of the tribunal is final. यानी अपने भारत में जमींदारी प्रथा तो खत्म कर दी, पर वक्फ बोर्ड के रूप में आपने एक नया जमींदार पैदा कर दिया, वो भी लेजिटिमाइज तरीके से. See, the section 40 subclause 3 of the Waqf Act effect the board, which includes only Muslim members, to declare any property belonging to Jain, Baud, Sikh, Christian or any non-Islamic religious group as Waqf property. And this clause is discriminatory. When we round the clock 24/7, talk about Article 14 and 15 of the Indian Constitution, we say right to equality, right to get a fair chance. Then where is the right to equality which is given to the people of this country against the Waqf? There is no freedom of religion. And see, if you see, the Waqf Board claims that this property belongs to the Waqf Board, then you have to, the law is, you have to go to the Waqf Board, then Waqf Board decision will be final, where the people from that faith will be there, then the tribunal, and tribunal's decision is not amenable. So it's an institution which must be scrapped because it is contrary to the basic object of the constitution. And that also, if you see, when there is a uniform code for, when we need a law and when there is a law which says that if you have any civil dispute, you have to go to the civil court. If you have any writ jurisdiction, you have to go to the writ court, high court. And if you have any other jurisdiction, then you go to the Supreme Court. Appellate jurisdiction is there, but there is no appellate jurisdiction. And which we can see. We have seen the whole village has been claimed and found to be vested with the Waqf Board. Where those people will go to, and that other thing, in the Waqf Board had taken a decision, then the government is obliged to ensure that that property is vacated and handed over to the Waqf Act. So it's not a land grabbing organization. Of course it is. And that is why there is a need to have a change to relook this act, which was passed without due consultation with the stakeholders. Over to you.
Which is why we're seeing this new law being, the amendment to the Waqf bill also being deliberated by a joint parliamentary committee. That continues to be on the other side. But R.K. Upadhyay, last 30 seconds to you before I wrap this up. Are you confident that the government is doing enough and more in Karnataka to ensure that justice is done? Because that's what they say, that we will ensure that no land is being grabbed.
No, not at all. See, nobody is confident of that. Because this very fact of Vijayapura incident has come in the open. They're saying that we'll take action. What about various other lands in various other districts? So unless everyone, it has to be exposed. So do they expect the public and the media to expose each and one of them, and then only the action will be taken? So this government has
that seems to be what's happened. Because like I said, this meeting happened in the first week of October. The change happened on 9th. Today we are on the 28th. And only after the BJP picked up, after the media spoke about it for the last 4 days, we saw 3 ministers come out and hold that press conference.
Absolutely. So there is no hope for it. So I think it's high time that this Amendment Act is passed in this country. So fortunately now we have a debate. People have come to know what has been happening. In the name of Waqf Board. This is land grabbing, official land grabbing, which is sanctified by the parliament and which has to be now upturned. That's the reason why this amendment has been brought. And people have now come to know what this Waqf Board is, which is beyond, this is extra constitution. So I think, people, even the Congress people know that this is what it is, and they're still, trying to pass it on as if it is, some kind of a Hindu-Muslim issue. It is not Hindu-Muslim.
And if there is nothing to hide, I wonder why the Congress didn't want to be a part of this discussion, because they were very much invited to be. But many would say that's quite telling as well. I have to leave it at that. I thank you all, gentlemen, for joining us here on this edition of Plain Speak, because it is time for a quick break. But after that, we'll get you the story of India's Atmanirbharta, especially as far as the defense sector goes, from where we were focusing on imports to now getting to a place where we could be looking at exports as well. We get you those details.